Yes, we have Bob.
Okay, good.
All right, we got to go anyhow. Thanks for joining us today for MasterCoaches Wednesday Weekly Buzz and our after show Buzz Reaction. I'm Ruth Nelson, joined by Hall of Famers Mick Haley, Bob Bertucci, and Brian Gimolero, bringing you the most current issues and trends in volleyball. Our weekly news show has leaders in our sport provide their perspective on the questions that are asked, along with the discussion on topics that are current and ones that are affecting all of us. Our newsflash: if you want to stay up on the newest recommendations and decisions on name, image, and likeness, you should head over to the knightcommission.org to read the new principles on NIL. Want to make a difference? Please remember to renew your AVCA membership. This one organization that represents all coaches at all levels when lobbying for the changes that are needed in our sport, and you can make a difference by registering at avca.org. Today, we will learn about the journey of this head coach and how it led him to his first NCAA Women's Beach Championship. So let's head right over to Austin, Texas with former Olympic coach Mick Haley, who will introduce our guest today. Mick?
Thank you, Ruth, and hello, everyone. Boy, it's my pleasure today to introduce to you the new head coach of the National Championship Southern California Beach Volleyball team. Dain Blanton is here with us after going through a weekend of ups and downs and arounds, but his team was dominant. And Dain, really appreciate you coming on and being on the show. You've got to have been just hammered with people wanting to talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been busy, Mick, and thank you guys for having me back on the show. I mean, it's like, what, twice in less than 7 days. And it's been a whirlwind, and you know, I don't have to tell you guys, it's really something special. I think your first championship is so memorable, and no matter what it is, as a player, a coach. But wow, I was overwhelmed with emotion after the win, and I was just so happy that you knew the team could do and perform and win a national championship, but none of that matters if they don't go out and execute. And after seeing them go out and execute, it was just a thing of beauty. Some of them played some of their best matches on the day when they needed it most.
Well, that's obviously the coach's dream, I'm sure. You know, a couple of things come to mind. First of all, I'm sure Brian's going to like your room a lot better than the room you had at Gulfstream. So that was the first thing I was thinking when I was listening to you talk there and seeing that. Most people don't know that USC was the very first school to add women's beach volleyball. And appropriately, they've been able to get 2 national championships before this last weekend. And now you, as the head coach, have gotten your first, which gives the university 3 national championships. That seems to me to be something that everybody should be really, really proud of. What's happening as far as celebration for you guys? Are you guys doing anything celebrating? Is school celebrating? Los Angeles open up just for celebration for the?
Yeah, I wish, you know what I mean? I wish it was with COVID and all, there's so many restrictions, and I was told I could do a virtual banquet. And so a lot of things, you know, we're not back to that normalcy as of yet, but we're gonna celebrate as a team, and we're gonna do a few things, but nothing formal. There's nothing formal that the university can really get behind because of the pandemic and whatnot, which is unfortunate, but I look back at this whole season and I'm so thankful that we were able to have this season. I mean, these girls had to jump through hoops, get tested, go through screenings constantly. And always my worry was don't get COVID if you can help it. Obviously, you can do everything you can to prevent it and you can still get it. But there was a sigh of relief when we all got back from testing on Friday of the national championship, because that was finally, you're like, that's the last test in terms of, and you don't wish that on anyone. I was just hoping all the athletes from our team, from every team, were ready to go and didn't have any complications, and that the championship could go on as planned. And it did. It was really well organized. And Kristen Fassbender, the director, just put on an amazing event. I think she's done it every year since 2016.
Yeah, Kathy DeBoer had called and also said she enjoyed the venue and the whole ambiance of the tournament. She thought it was one of the best experiences for collegiate athletes that she had ever witnessed and had seen. So that says a lot to you coaches, how you conducted the whole situation with your teams and the way the NCAA and the committee set that up. Bob Bertucci wants to ask you some questions here. He's been trying to learn about beach volleyball. He didn't get out of the stand very high, but I'm going to throw it over to him and see what question he can throw to you.
All right, thanks, Mick. Dain, congratulations. Great job.
Thank you. It's just incredible. It's, I haven't slowed down yet, but I appreciate it. It's all fun stuff, and we're just going to ride the wave as long as we can, because you guys know it flips over quick and people already start talking about next season. So I'm trying to stay away from that.
Well, hey, Dain, we have something special for you. I'm going to go to Ruth, and I think she's going to let it run, and you sit there and enjoy it.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. USC's tradition of heading to the water. Okay, Bob, now you get your question, but Dain, congratulations, and salute to you. Thanks to Kathy DeBoer and the AVCA.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
That
man,
was
now we
awesome.
got you in the mood, and we got you right in that environment.
Yeah.
You've had some great highs in the game of volleyball. You know, how does this compare? This is a little different than when you're out there doing it yourself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think this is it's very difficult, right, to manage 18 to 20 players and to get them peaking at the right time. And it's just so many hours of hard work, and every coach does it. And so to be fortunate enough to finally to get on top this early in my coaching career is really something special, because a lot of players try coaching, and a lot of pundits will say you're a great player, but you can't coach. And so to transfer over into the coaching realm, it's a challenge, and I knew it was going to be a challenge. I knew it was going to be extremely difficult, but fortunately I landed at an amazing program, a program I had worked at 4 years as a volunteer assistant, and a program that supports not only all their sports, but more importantly, their student athletes. And I think it was just a perfect storm, and we got the right personnel, and I got the right coaches and the right staff, and things came together. But I think this is a huge deal. It's for me, it's like it's not another chapter. It's more of a new volume, I guess you'd say, of my career, kind of switching over to this coaching side, whereas everything was in that first volume as a player. Now as a coach, things start off. So it's right up there with the championships, winning a national championship at Pepperdine as a player, and winning a gold medal for the United States was probably the biggest high. And it's right there. So it's exciting, but it hasn't even all settled in just yet. Like I said, I've been going ever since, but I'm sure it will pretty quick here.
Well, I think you're right, and I think it is different. But from some of the great coaches I've been around, being able to get that satisfaction from somebody else's success, the players that you're coaching, and being able to enjoy that, I think is one of the real values and payoffs that a coach really gets. And it is different than when you've done it yourself. And Brian, of course, has done this too. So we're gonna run to him and let him share some things with you. Brian?
All right.
Congratulations. How wonderful. Hasn't set in yet.
Thanks, Brian. No, I mean, it hasn't set in yet. I've been going and going, and I was, just chatting earlier and saying, like, I need to unplug a little bit. So I guess the big question for you, Brian, is you called out my room last time. Do you know where I'm at now?
I think the chair is befitting. It's a nice room.
It's all I could find. It's all I could find at the last second, but I thought you would know. It's I'm actually getting ready to tee off over at Pelican Hill in Newport.
Oh,
and yeah, and so we're gonna golf with some friends and kind of take a few hours off. So I'll stump you every time, Brian. So
the restaurant
gotta be ready.
is great. The restaurant is the best in town. The pool is amazing. My personality doesn't allow me to play, so I'll just wait in the restaurant until you get back.
Nice. I knew you knew the place, though.
Oh, sure. Tell me about the plus and minus of being in the winner's bracket.
Oh my gosh. I mean, any coach knows that the winner's bracket's where you want to be. You do not want to be tested. You almost have to play, and not twice as many, but you end up playing quite a few. The last 2 days, so we had an 8-team tournament, and it was double elimination. So you had 2 matches the first day, regardless, win or lose. The second day is where it starts to kick in, right? If you're in the winner's bracket, you play 1 match, whereas everyone else, they have to play 2. Then if you make it past that to the final day, you just have the finals where the other team's got to play in the morning. So if you go to the loser bracket early in the national championship, that means you're playing 2 matches, 3 consecutive days. And that can be a little challenging for these collegiate players. Each back in the day, we used to play 9 matches in 2 days, but it's not like that anymore. So playing 2-3 matches in a day for these collegiate athletes can really take its toll. And I think that benefited us when the finals came around. I believe that UCLA had some fatigue, and it's natural. In 2019, USC lost first round, came all the way back to the final and played UCLA, who was in the finals through the winners bracket. And I think they experienced some fatigue. So, we call it the snake pit or the jungle, and you don't want to fall down to that losers bracket, but it's a nice thing to have though. And I think that the best 2 teams always end up in the finals.
I know we're out of time, but I know we're out of time, Ruth, but let me throw this in. I my last year coaching, Haley Harward was a freshman, and I got to coach her, and I loved the kid and her parents. And as a grad student, she went and played for you and won a championship. And I'm just really proud of her. And you did such a great job in developing her. That's all I wanted to throw out there. So congratulations.
Thank you. And she played her best match of the year in the final. So that was pretty awesome.
And I'm not surprised.
Okay, yeah. Brian, we are out of time.
I know.
Dain, wonderful.
We needed I thought I had a whole hour.
Well, then you need to talk to
every
Mick.
time you guys are.
That's
exactly
good. Right. All right.
It's all good.
Dain,
Thank
congratulations.
You. Big
Thank you.
All right, you guys.
Good job, Dain.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Mick.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, here we go. We've got a special guest coming on our second half. He's not in his car this time. He looks like he's in the arena. But before we introduce him, Mick, let's give him a little shout out with a special, I know he will remember this play. That should be an inspiration to all of us.
It is an inspiration. Having head coach Charlie Wade of the Hawaii men's volleyball team, national champions. And Charlie's been up since way before us this morning. He's been doing these programs all morning. And you all have to be very appreciative. Charlie worked us in this schedule. Charlie, welcome. And thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, Mick, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
You're going to have a full day, but tell me about this celebration. You got a celebration going on today, and what really does this mean to the program?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great moment in sports history in Hawaii, and the fans here are so unbelievable and so appreciative. Sunday when we flew back, we had kind of a drive-through celebration, and there was over 500 cars. We spent 2 hours just saying thank you and people coming through and showing their aloha. So, and it wasn't enough. They had to turn people away. So, people got together and put this thing together today. I've spent the early part of the morning, starting in the 6 o'clock hour, on all the kind of local TV stations, just talking about the championship. Had Colton Cowell with me in some of those interviews. And then 9:00 here in Hawaii, we're going to get picked up by a couple trolleys, go to the governor's office, go to the mayor's office, do a little session with the ledge, and then tour around through Waikiki, and then finishing up with kind of another kind of drive-by thing on the corner of Bishop and King from 12 to 1 today. So a lot of excitement surrounding Warrior men's volleyball. There's no question.
Well, it seems to me that the team, men's volleyball, the university, are bringing the island back together. It's kind of like, it sounds to me, and I'm not sure I got this right, but it sounds to me like an opening up of Hawaii again. COVID has been a depressing thing for a lot of reasons, and you guys have added some unbelievable life and electricity to the island. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a tough year for everybody. Yeah. So I think Saturday was really just a great uplifting moment for the people in the state, something to rally behind, and people did gather, and, we hope they gathered in a safe manner, but they got together and they watched the game and celebrated. And it's certainly been a bright spot in our community.
Has it been an exciting thing for you? I mean, has it really stimulated you to levels that you haven't been stimulated before?
Yeah, I thought about that because they've been here before, right? Like we've got final and lost and been in the tournament, and and you lose in the final, and you always kind of wax poetically like, well, we're just committed to the process and we're going to keep doing. I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, we're really not changing a lot of what we do. We think we got a pretty good formula. We've been successful now for a number of years, but there's no doubt that 93 minutes on Saturday night in Columbus, Ohio, it changed things for us, and in a good way. So a lot of hard work and a lot of people across the state and through our program have made this possible. And we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully get in positions to win championships.
Well, Ruth had some great pictures of that huge block you put up there, but I thought she should have put pictures of your servers, because you just destroyed BYU with your serving. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, our serving, we spent a lot of time on the serving and guys snapping and spinning balls, and and I really think it was our receiving game that was the difference. We knew going into the match that was where statistically we had the biggest gap in between the two teams, that we were the significantly better receiving team. We spent a lot of time teaching people to move their feet and play the ball out in front of them and have range and be athletic. And it was on full display Saturday night, because, I mean, let's be frank. I mean, BYU's got some of the greatest servers in men's collegiate history. We've seen Gabby Garcia touch 80 on the speed gun, and that's just, we've never seen that before. So, we wanted to get Gage Worsley in the middle of formation, and all of our guys did a really good job of receiving, whether it was Garcia, Gardini, they're guys that really can get after it. It allowed us to run the middle, and we knew if we controlled the middle of the court on the first ball, we'd have a really good chance.
Well, Brian Gimolero used to hit the ball that hard also. I'm going to turn it over to him.
Oh, really?
For a quick question or two here.
Well, Charlie and myself were around at the same time, so he knows how hard I hit the ball. Congratulations. Last time we saw you, it was your 10th anniversary last week. You have 3 wonderful children. You are now you are a mainstay on the island. Congratulations. What a wonderful time. I'm so happy for you in your life, and it's so nice to see the celebration going on the way it is deserved on the islands. Charlie, what do you feel? Has it set in yet? Have you been able to sit down and actually realize that you're the champs and they can't take it away from you?
Yeah, I think that'll sink in over time. I was thinking earlier today, we said last year when it was shut down, we had played BYU here the week prior. We lost the first night. We won in a close 5th set the second night in front of 10,000 sold out. We went to the mainland to play our opening league opponent, and it got shut down. And at that moment, we said, look, a lot of this is out of our control. We don't know when we get back after it. But if we stay committed to the process, we'll come out of this better. right? And I think that you see going into it, like say last time we played BYU was really close. We played them Saturday night, it wasn't that close. And it's, and no disrespect to them. It's just our guys were committed from the beginning. We knew that people were going to either kind of stay the same or get worse or get better. And we were committed to getting better. So, that was kind of the mantra all the way through it. And the guys really stayed focused and showed on Saturday night that we had in fact gotten better and we're the best.
What a dominant performance, by the way, watching it. It was just, that's a good team. You're playing a really good team and you dominated. And I agree with you. Your skill level, my answer when a ball comes 80 miles an hour is to get out of the way and yell yours or out, one of those two. But I was really impressed. And I'm looking at the background there, and I was lucky enough to play in these arenas, and what a place to play. And everybody in the country should experience that arena sometime in their life for volleyball. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Bob, Charlie, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Charlie, congratulations. Your team did outstanding. They really showed, what they're made of, coming out there and playing at the top of the game against a very good BYU team. But all areas were strong. I mean, I agree with Mick from a spectator standpoint. It was pretty obvious you guys were serving just bullets all the time. I mean, you never let up, never took the pressure off. It's interesting from a coach's standpoint. And I didn't realize that Gabby Garcia can serve that thing close to 80 miles an hour, because your passers were handling the serve completely different than BYU were handling your serve. You did a tremendous job. What does this win mean to your program?
Well, like I said, I mean, it's certainly a validation for a lot of people, hard work for a long time. And, and obviously anytime you're having success, there's a little momentum behind you, and certainly it's exciting. So, like I said, at the end of it, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And, people want to jump on the bandwagon, go ahead, if it helps in all the better. And Brian, you were mentioning, I stood here, and if you look back behind my head, there's a spot open next to that 87 where we're now going to see that the 2021 men's championship banner in there. And I think it'll round out that side of the arena quite nicely.
Perfect spot for it. Perfect spot.
Absolutely.
Now, Charlie, how does this affect your conference? Any impact on your conference? The fact that they have the national championship now?
Well, our conference has won the national championship every year it's been in existence. It's only been 3 years, but we've
That's good.
won it every year we've had one. So the Big West is alive and well in men's volleyball. There ain't no doubt.
All right, Ruth.
Okay, Charlie, hey, with winning, does this help you develop any new tournaments or sponsorships or partnerships that you now can build on in the next year?
Yeah, volleyball, it is a big deal in the community, and the momentum behind our program has been significant for the last few years. COVID has dampened a lot of that, but, right prior to COVID, at the start of it, we had signed a sponsorship agreement. Actually, the league and the Hawaii Tourism Authorities signed a $500,000 sponsorship to bring the Big West Championship here to Hawaii, kind of on a 2 out of 3 year cycle. And that kind of stuff's exciting for the sport, where you have, big entities stepping up and recognizing that volleyball is a sport that can draw big crowds and people want to get out and support. So, we'll be hopeful going forward. There's, like I said, a lot of momentum behind the program right now. People in the community are really supportive, and, we're really humbled by the support we get, and, couldn't be more appreciative.
Well, congratulations on your win. And we know that, like you said, if the coach doesn't mess it up, well, I guess you didn't mess it up, because you now are crowned the winner. But we've run out of time now, but we thank you very much for taking time out, and best of luck to you.
And enjoy the celebration.
Appreciate it. Aloha.
Charlie, congratulations.
Way to go.
Congratulations, Charlie.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you.
Good Hoosier.
Yeah, another user. Book your Master Coaches custom in-person or vertical virtual clinic link. How about that today? By heading over to Instagram, click on our bio and click on Master Clinic link. If you want a fantastic one-day clinic near Abilene, Texas, join us June 5th by registering at AbileneYSA.org. If you would like to be on our guest list for the Buzz Reaction After Show, please head over to our Instagram, Want to Be a Guest, get on our update list, and your name will be on our appearance. Our weekly Buzz show is on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Volleyball Master Coaches, Instagram and Twitter, VB Master Coaches. Now, we go to our Buzz and Buzz Reaction digital partner, Dr. John Foreman, who will update us on the most recent podcast.
Oh, thanks, Ruth. Podcast is on a little bit of a hiatus right now, just to recharge and prepare some new stuff. But I definitely encourage you to go to coachingvb.com and check out the content there. It's been a record-breaking year for the blog this year. So feel free, join the party, learn some new stuff, and let's move on to the Buzz Reaction.
For those that are joining us on the Buzz Reaction for the first time, you'll have a chance to hear from two of our guests later in the show. So let's begin by discussing the upcoming Master Coaches Championship Skills Clinic on June 5th in Abilene, Texas. All right, who would like to go first?
I'll jump in there. We haven't done one in that area in Abilene, and I'm excited about the town. I'm excited when I watched their basketball team play in the NCAA tournament with the big win, and everybody's excited, and everybody knew where Abilene was then. And if we can give some of our knowledge to the volleyball community there, and I sure hope it turns out with the community comes, I'm sure we can help volleyball become better, and that will be our goal.
All right.
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing differently, in this clinic as compared to just our strict skills, championship skills series. I think that might be interesting to some of the people that are, thinking about coming to the clinic or maybe just watching the Buzz Reaction today. Mick, you want to, talk about that a little bit?
Well, I can talk about that. I think what we're going to attempt to do is kind of tie in how to teach skills extremely effectively and tie it into how you actually have live competition and teach and look for the right things to give the verbal cues on. We've kind of put together a sequence of starting with serving, into passing, into setting, going to hitting, blocking, and then individual and team defense. And in between each of those, we've tried to come in with multiple skill drills and things that are actively putting 2 and 3 of the skills together at the same time. And then talking with the coaches about, one, how you actually watch effectively so you can pick up what's happening, and are the players using the skills the way you taught them. And that sounds to be awfully fundamentally simple, but it is a very difficult thing to do. A lot of beginning coaches have a tendency to even watch the ball too much. And, you don't really want to watch the ball. You want to watch and anticipate where the ball's going so you can watch the athletes move, see if they're using the techniques, and then move forward to the very next thing that's going to happen and see if you can watch that. If we can not only teach the skills and show new ways to develop these skills and then show ice sequencing for coaches, not just necessarily for middle blockers or defensive readers, but for coaches. I think we can have a tremendously effective clinic that is both good for young beginning coaches and established coaches who are looking for some special tips on how they can get an advantage coming up this fall or this next spring, depending on what level they're coaching.
I was going to
One
say,
of the things I like about what we've been talking about for this particular clinic is the fact that we're doing the the skills, and we're going over the keys, and we're doing that for especially for middle school coaches and coaches that maybe are just new to coaching volleyball, but also for the more experienced coaches to have a specific method and keywords and phrases, but then how we're progressing into the team functions, learning passing and then applying it to serve receive formation and all that goes into training that aspect, that team aspect of the game. I think the other thing was, we're going to do some different things at this clinic. For example, the Friday night where we're going to actually have an informal Friday night for the coaches that are coming in, a day earlier, and we'll be doing a couple of hours in the evening with the same athletes that are going to be in the clinic the next day, and it's very informal, and it's going to be a chance for those coaches just to observe us actually on the court, working with the athletes and doing a little training there. And then we have the social afterwards. I'm kind of excited about that.
okay, do not forget about BYOP and Go Kids. We are doing a demonstration for parents and kids ages 10 and under. But the other thing I think that Master Coaches will bring to the table for Abilene will be an opportunity for coaches to feel more comfortable to ask any questions they want, to provide them progressions and drills like all that they've talked about. But the most important thing is to give them a chance for those athletes so that they don't leave Abilene to go play club ball 50 to 100 to 200 miles away, because the Abilene Youth Sports Authority facility houses 8 courts, which means, and they have club that do practice in there. And I think it's an opportunity for them to keep those great athletes that are coming out of Abilene in the local area into the area, in case you wanted to know.
That's exactly what we wanted to know, Ruth.
Ruth, I wasn't sure if I heard that right. Was it BYOB or BYOP?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. If it's a BYOP, bring your own photographer, then you shouldn't come. It's bring your own parent for 10 and under.
But it wasn't BYOB.
No,
Okay.
That's what Bob was thinking.
That's what I was interested
I know, I got
That's
him.
what we were all thinking. I was surprised.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things I understand is that some coaches have been offered an opportunity to come to the clinic free. I don't know how you can pass that up because in this day and age with the COVID and all the things that have happened, how many times do we get a chance to go to a clinic and not have to spend an arm and a leg? Most of these clinics cost $300 or more if you're watching, and you have to stay 2 or 3 days. And this is one that you can get in there that night. You can stay all the next day, stay as long as you want. The coaches will be there right up until I think 6 o'clock or later on Saturday, answering individual questions at the end, talking about technique with any coach that wants to come, or just ideas for play and that sort of thing. I think it's one of the great opportunities out there, and certainly you would expect that from West Texas, basically, because that's kind of the heartland of the state. Some of the best players have come out of that area. Some of the best coaches have come out of that area. And it's not been because they can walk across the street and play. Some people drive 3 or 4 hours to practice. They make a lot of sacrifices to be good. They go to a tournament in Dallas. It's just not down the road. It's quite a hike. And so it's a pretty special place to go and do a clinic. So we're hoping that we'll see a lot of the very best people that are out there, and all the new coaches that want to come in and learn. It's kind of exciting for us to share with this part of the country.
Okay. Hey, John, let's bring on our two guests that we have today. First, we have Sabrina Bingham, Director of Volleyball at Abilene Youth Sports Authority and former head coach at Hardin-Simmons University for 13 years. And joining Sabrina today is Kellen Mock, who was former head coach at Abilene Christian College for 7 years. However, she has taken on a challenge of coaching her 12-year-old daughter's club team, and we'll hear about that in a minute. All right, let's go to Sabrina. And Nick, you guys have some questions for them.
Hey, you guys, good to see you.
Hey, Sabrina, good to see you again.
Hi, Sabrina.
Ellen, welcome.
Hi, guys.
I'll throw this question right out because what does this mean to bring master coaches coming into Abilene? I mean, what does this do for the community? What's this do for the volleyball community? How do you see this affecting the whole area?
Absolutely. It will be such a boost for our coaches in this area. We are a very central location in Texas to where so many of us, like you guys said, are used to driving forever to go to something like this. And so where we're located, Lubbock, Amarillo, Austin, all of West Texas can get here very, very quickly and be able to just learn from just all the experience that all of you have. And we just can't wait to be the host location for this.
Yeah, I did that. I experienced that whole area when I was recruiting. I used to drive around out there, and I have to call home and say, how do I get out of here? I want to go forever. I said, the best thing, though, the highways are really wide, so you've got a lot of room to maneuver. I got a big kick out of that, but I love the people, and the people are what's so special about coming to Abilene, so I'm excited about that.
So, Sabrina, what is it that one thing that what made you decide to do this? I know you want to help the community. You want to bring something big to the area, but this was more of a personal thing in a way, I think. Would you explain that a little bit?
Yes, I as a college coach, I looked for these clinics all over the country. Even I would drive as far as I needed to in Texas to get to them, but then I wouldn't hesitate to even get on a plane to fly to California or somewhere else where I knew that clinics were going to be happening. I just wanted to learn more about the game because I just loved it so much. And I wanted to learn from the best coaches out there. And so for me, this is very personal to be able to bring coaches like you guys that I've followed for so many years just here to our hometown.
And that we're still alive, right? Good thing you're doing this.
Hey, Sabrina, Mick talked a little bit about how some people are able to have a free clinic. It's not really free, but it's for certain groups. Can you explain that a little bit, especially
Yes.
if some of those people happen to be watching?
We've had a lot of the high school coaches go to their administration and say, we already need continuing education credits for the summer. Can this count towards that? And can we get it paid for? And their administration has been like, absolutely. We will pay to have any of the coaches in our district be able to go. And so those coaches have been signing up, and then the administration will pay for any of those coaches who want to come. And so I've been kind of spreading the word to some of the smaller districts as well, of just telling them, go and ask. There's nothing wrong with asking and seeing if this clinic can be covered under their CEU credits for the summer.
Wow. All right. So you know of Abilene, for example, they're doing that within that city.
Yes, the Abilene School District is doing that, as well as we have Wiley, which is right here as well. Abilene Wiley's district is able to do that as well. And I know that some of the other coaches around the area have been asking their administration for that.
Great. And Kel, I have a question for you. Again, a college coach, all right, now going to 12-year-olds, you got to tell me about that. I mean, that's a big difference. You know, what do you see as the biggest difference?
Oh, the difference is huge. It's actually one of the reasons I'm so excited that you guys are coming is because I feel like I have so much to learn about how to teach the basics of the game well, and I think that's what you guys can add so much to the flavor of volleyball in the town of Abilene, Texas, because we aren't getting some of those basics. I'm not really teaching a whole lot of defensive systems right now. I'm teaching a lot of, good hand placement on the ball, when it comes to teaching setters how to set or how to run a 6-2 for the first time. It's a big learning curve for those kids, and one of the things that I've always appreciated so much about all of you, because I'm like Sabrina, I'm a super fan. This is really exciting to me to get a chance to get to know you guys better and have you come to our little town in the middle of Texas. But there's so much about how your players have continued on to play the game as long as their bodies would allow them to. They love it. And they love being a part of a team. And that's something that those 12-year-olds need to learn. And I'm excited to see you bring excitement to all the coaching staffs in this area of Texas.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Well, I know Brian is chomping at the bit here to ask you guys a couple of questions, so I'm going to kick it over to him for a second.
I coached my daughter's 12 and under team. Mick used to give me a hard time about it. I had won 3 national championships, and then I went to the 12 and unders. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know with what I'm speaking about. It was an exciting. It was an adventure. Almost killed me. So be prepared. And we went 73-0 until the the AVCA championship. We were 73-0. Yeah, till the last game. But anyway, it was a bunch of my daughter's soccer friends. And I learned a lot about how to teach 12-year-olds. And I'm willing to sit there and talk to you about that. They taught me a lot, so it was good. But anyway, for both of you, what would you like? You said something about skills and what you'd like there, but what would you both like? What if kind of speaking for the entire group that would be coming, kind of an overview of what would you like to have them get by the time we leave? What are we going to leave them with?
Ellen, you want to go ahead and start on that?
Sure. I would love for there to be a lot of skill and technique training. I think that the game of volleyball it's so much fun, but it's so much more fun when you're telling the ball what to do instead of the other way around. And I do think we have dedicated, wonderful coaches in this area of the state, and a lot of people that have, a lot of experience behind them. But from the junior highs and the 6th graders and the 12-year-old club coaches, all the way up to the college coaches that will be coming, the basic skills and great instruction, we can always get better there. There's all kinds of things you can learn about the game, but when we can communicate well what we're wanting a young player to do and help them mimic it well and help them ingrain that basic skill and technique, it changes their experience with the game of volleyball going forward, and so I think that communication piece, it's something that you guys do really, really well. And we'd love, those keywords and phrases. That's what I'd like to come away from, because I think if Texas can get better at basic skill instruction, we will produce better volleyball players and have a more fun playing the game.
That's one of the things we're seeing in the NC2A tournament. We talked to Craig Skinner on the show a week or so ago, and we were talking about the level of skill that his team possessed. And it was the little things, they had less than 5 errors per set that they played, average for the whole year. Their ball handling skills were superb. Their defensive movements were good. Their arm work on their attack was excellent. And they had a 5'10" kid blocking middle for them and being very effective. And that means you have to have your skills down to a science. I think people, many times there's too worried about systems and not worried about how can I take my players to another level technically so that they can use that energy they've got to compete at the highest level and to go after it. You certainly can't play for them. What you want to do is arm them with things that allow them to use their natural God-given talents to go for it. So I think you're right about that. And that's being reinforced on our show every time we bring a coach on.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say also that, you know, if you don't begin to develop a passion with the parents to be able to help their kids more by learning the skills, it's hard to convince the kids to do it because the parents are the ones you're convincing. So when you're in a community like you guys are in, and you're running maybe some modifications in leagues where you might modify where you need to pass, set, and attack in order to use 3 hits so they better understand the game. Because I know here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I watch a 9-year-old that I train every week. And it goes pass, 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 point, pass, but there's no pass, pass, pass. And I said, why do you keep passing it over the net? She says, well, because my coach told me to. Well, I mean, you two being former college coaches and in an area that you basically can develop from 5 years and up, there's no way that not learning fundamentals cannot help them. Plus, I do believe if they become all-around players, it's like the 9-year-old that I trained. She says, I want to be an all-around player because I think it's more fun and I think I love it more and I have more fun teaching and playing with my friends. So I think that that's going to help also at the youth level.
What can you tell us about this facility we'll be doing the clinic in? I understand this is kind of a first for this facility. If I'm not sure I'm right about that, but I hear a lot of talk out there about this wonderful facility. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What we can expect when we get in there?
Yes, absolutely. We have 8 full volleyball courts here. Fully air conditioned, unlike some of the places we travel to. And so all the seating for fans and parents is above. And so there's no parents down on the floor during training or anything like that. And so these kids can fully learn from their coaches right there. This is the first facility in Abilene that is very specific to just basketball and volleyball. And I think Kellen and I were talking about this earlier. This is really where it can help boost this area with volleyball. I think there's been a lot of years that we have been behind because we just haven't had any facilities for players to play in the off season. And so they just haven't had that chance. Would you say that, Kellen?
For sure. And I'm pretty selfish right now about all of this. I'm so excited because, again, I have a 12-year-old. And I'm married well. My husband is 6'6", so my 12-year-old is 5'10" with a size 11.5 foot. I was one of those parents that at one point said either we'll move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area or I might be driving my kiddo, to go play with the best of the best in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's where I grew up. I understand Dallas, North Texas volleyball, but what this facility gives us is the ability to play all year round. We don't have to rent or, get permission from schools. We can host clinics and camps and all kinds of tournaments that give our kids the ability to touch a ball more because we want, I think Ruth taught me this possibly when I was pregnant with this 12-year-old, that every touch, gets us better or worse. And we want to have as many touches as possible, but we want those to be positive touches. And I love that our kids can play in a great facility and get positive touches and raise them over the net if we need to. Whatever we need to do to give them the ability to play, we have the facility to do so. And when you don't have the facility, it really limits your options. So and then you guys are coming to fill it up.
So with this facility, do we have the ability to get the coaches down on the floor right next to where we're working with the athletes so that we can actually be talking to the coaches without large speakers and that sort of thing, where we can really have an in-person kind of clinic where coaches can be right there, hear the give and take between the coach and the athlete and that sort of thing. Does the facility provide for us to do that?
Yes, we will be putting chairs down on the floor for coaches to be right there with us the whole time, and being able to have questions and have you guys answer them it's going to be a very personal situation for them, that they can be right there with you.
What's the COVID protocol, just for those viewers that might be watching?
We are fully open here in Abilene, and so we recommend masks, but it is not a requirement. And if anyone is worried or concerned about that, then they can talk to us more about it, and we can let them know. We can have them socially distant in certain areas of the court for that. But we are a fully open city.
Okay.
And we're fully vaccinated. So there you go.
There you go. We're ready finally.
Exactly.
And Sabrina, we'll be having the whole facility, so we have quite a lot of space to actually do the clinic in.
Right. The whole facility will be open for us to use. Any of the courts in breakout sessions or anything like that can be going on at the same time.
Yeah, so I was talking to Mick last night a little bit about our conversation on Friday night, how Brian, myself, Mick, and Ruth will be actually on a court, working with some kids, and the coaches, that come in a little bit earlier, they can just go ahead and mill around from one court to another, depending on, what their interest is and what we're working on as we're working with the athletes. I think that's going to be a good opportunity also for the coaches in the area to get some, one-on-one help and some, specific information that they're looking for.
I got a question, Sabrina. Yes. What's the families been like to say that they're going to be engaged with the kids?
The families are really excited. They cannot wait. They've never experienced anything like this, and so they cannot wait to have both parent and child down on the floor together, getting to work with you. So.
Did you tell them the parents can't talk?
I didn't, but that does need to be addressed.
That's what
we leave that to you, Ruth.
No talking, Kellen.
That's great. That's exciting.
Sabrina, I wanted to go back to you and tell me again what you would like to have. What do you want to have accomplished when we're done? What are we leaving you with?
I just think coaches have not had a chance to experience this level of education here in West Texas, and especially in Abilene. And so really diving into the skills, just in the techniques of the basics is so important in our area. And like Kellen was saying, I just think I want them to fall in love with the repetition of the game and just being just so excited to just repeat really good skills over and over and over again. I think that's something that often is lacking in this area. We jump into games so fast and systems rather than getting them to fall in love with the technique part of the game. So,
could I add to that too? I don't want to just totally harp in on the skills, but we're in a situation in the area of Texas where some of our volleyball coaches are actually basketball coaches or soccer coaches or softball coaches. That's their first sport. And what we have an opportunity to do with this is to give them so much more volleyball knowledge. And it will really improve the school, experience for a lot of volleyball players.
Well, they're going to hate you because they're all going to switch from the other sports to volleyball. So it's okay.
Love it.
Yeah, and you can use that reverse pivot for middle blockers to get off the net.
Okay, we got about 1 more minute. So if you guys have any other questions you want to ask them.
Well, we're all four of us are very excited to be there. If we can do anything else to communicate with the community to make sure that the people get there, but the right people will be there. And we'll make sure they get a lot of information.
Okay. Well, we're out of time. And thanks for joining us today for our extended Buzz reaction. We thank Sabrina and Kellen for joining us today and looking forward to seeing them in a few weeks at Abilene Youth Sports Authority. For those viewers that want to be on our Buzz reaction guest list, jump over to VD MasterCoaches Instagram, go to the bio and click on the sign up to be a guest. For those coaches that are interested in our consulting services, please email from our link on our VB Master Coaches Instagram. Be sure to tell your friends about our weekly news show. And thanks for joining us. And we have a special video today. And be sure to sign up for June 5th Master Coaches Championship Skills Series by going to AbileneYSA.org. And see you next week on The Buzz. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea and I'll get my ping pong.